Watch and burn.
Hey everybody. So tonight I want to maybe turn this light a little first. Yeah, it might be better. Tonight I am looking to discuss Brujeria's new one. This came out a few days back now, I think. Came out on the 22nd or the 23rd of September, and that is Esto es Brujeria, which, if I'm not mistaken, Esto es means this is. So This is Brujeria is the name of the new album. Now, this was their first full-length since Pazzo Atlan, which loosely translated means like wrecked land or wasted land or something to that effect, like something like destroyed promised land or whatever. But yeah, Pazzo Atlan, this was released back in 2016. So this was their first record. And again, this is pushing the better part of a decade. Now, the difference, the stretch story between Brujerismo and Pazzo Atlan was like 16 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think Brujerismo came out around 2000, 2001, and Atlan came out in 2016. So that's looking at the better part of 2 decades. And now this stretch here, we're pushing almost a decade again. And I thought Pazzo Atlan was great, assuming I'm pronouncing that right, which I know I'm not. But I thought that record was fun, but it didn't grab me the same way this did. The Brujeria's cover of California Uber Alles at the end of Atlan was really rad. But this record, Jesus Christ, this has to be like the catchiest record they pretty much ever released. I will argue that the lyrical hooks on Raza Odiada, the hated race, were just as catchy. But I found that with Brujerismo and Atlan, that those records were crushing. Those records were crazy. Those records were killer, and they were here to sort of decimate everybody in their path. And I got that, and I respected that. And Brujerismo, it has El Desmadre is on it, Acido de la Mente is on it. That record is rad, but it is very heavy, and it's very, I don't want to say doom-laden, because that's not exactly the most accurate thing, but Brujerismo, and it's just so dark, I guess. And then with Pazzo Atlan, with the wasted land, or whatever the fuck that does translate to, I kind of felt the same way, that there was a lot of darkness surrounding that record. Not that this new record is exactly, sunshine and fucking Care Bears, but I find this record to be, it's got such a punk rock sense of groove. Like, it's got such an inclusive vibe to the music that even if you're not really into Brujeria, I really think that you could hook up with this record really easily, whereas with probably the rest of their entire discography, possibly only Raza Odiado notwithstanding, the rest of their stuff is just a little harder to grab. But this record is just fun. This record is energized. This record is bouncy. There's so much groove. Everything is so catchy. I love the double basses. I love the breakdowns. And I love how this record shifts from being hard, fast, and crazy to slow and crushing and like annihilatingly heavy, all within the span of these 15, 16 songs. It's like the first 2/3 of the record are fast, and then it seems like the last third of the record slows down a bunch, which isn't entirely accurate, of course, but it does seem that they saved the slowest songs for later on. I mean, this record is amazing. Like, this was worth the 7 or so year wait. And God, I love Brujeria. They haven't released a bad record. And that's really saying something, too. I am super happy. I made that note right at the end there. It says, I am super happy. I am super happy about this. I was totally stoked for Pazzo Atlan. And when I got it, I thought it was really rad, too. But something about it just didn't hold the same. This record, on the other hand, this has pretty much been the only thing I've been listening to for the past week. I can't stop. This is like one of the catchiest metal records I've ever heard, and I'm not really into metal anymore. So I think that probably holds a little more weight than it usually would, because I'm just not into this type of music as much as I used to be. But every so often a metal record comes along that fucking destroys me, and this is that record. Brujeria, I mean, the guys in the band, they've got to be pushing 60, and I mean, This is Brujeria is possibly their best album ever. My favorite songs on this, I mean, actually don't really have any songs on here I don't like. I will argue too that this record does play out really well as one complete package. The record transitions from sort of the first third into the second and into the final third, where things get a little slower and a little more crushing. So as far as this record playing out as a complete package, it's amazing. So sort of singling out songs might not be the smartest thing to do, but inevitably it's going to happen. And so, oh my God, and I apologize for my really pathetic pronunciation, but my favorite songs on here are El Patron del Revetan. We got Bruja Escabronada, which actually means something like, I know Bruja means witch, and I think Escabronada means something like evil or bad. So it's like bad witch or evil witch or something. And then Gak, or G-A-K. Mexorcista, which is like one of the best song titles ever, and I absolutely love that song. And then there's Mocado, but I've been listening to Mocado for some time, and if I'm not mistaken too, Mocado means to cut off or something. It means like a axe or some shit. They released that as one of their earlier singles, and so I've been obsessing over that for the past few weeks. And oh my God, that's right, the Odio que amo, which again means something like I hate that I love, or something. Those would have to be my favorite songs on here, but like I said, that in no way encapsulates the best songs on this record. There are no bad songs on this record. So I'm going to leave it there. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for, wow, way too long while I discussed Brujeria's new one, Esto es Brujeria, or This is Brujeria. Like always, if you like this review or you like this record, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But please, like always, most importantly, don't forget that the world is a better place because you're in it. I'm gonna go. Have a good night.